Hello and welcome to Faith, Hope, Love. It's your weekly podcast that talks about the Bible using teachings and stories and illustrations. Listen, guys, I'm super excited to bring you this week's episode in our Living as God series. And we'll be talking about the language of God. So you know how people say, I have a love language, and they mean that to say, there is a way that I like to receive love from my husband or from my wife. It's either this or that, or gifts or acts of service and things of that sort. What if I told you that there is a language that God likes? There's a language with which you can communicate directly to him. I like to call it, I beg your pardon, his love language. And I'm going to read that to you from the scripture so you can know that I got it all the way from the Bible. And it's in 1 Corinthians 14 verse 2, and I'll be reading from the King James Version. It says, "For he that speaketh in an unknown tongue speaketh not unto men, but unto God." That's just the part that I need for this episode. So when we speak in tongues, we are not speaking unto men. Think about it. There is a language, there's a hotline with which I can communicate with God. If you ever wanted to talk with God, there is a language. When you speak in tongues, you are not speaking unto men, you are speaking unto God. Have you ever met those people who'd say, well, I want to talk to God to know if he's real? Tell them, get born again. There is a language, his love language is called tongues. And when you speak in tongues, you are not speaking unto men, not to your father, to your mother. You are speaking unto God. When last did you speak unto God? It's amazing to know that there is a hotline. You know how people have different numbers in countries, 199, 222, and different numbers that you can call and the police will pick up and the fire service? Well, there is a hotline to speak to God directly that you can use to call on to God. It's called tongues. Friends, remember, we've been born as Christ in this life. We have his image. We should also speak his language. That's all I have for you this week. And until next week, remember, speak the language of God. Speak in tongues. Speak directly to God.